Good afternoon and welcome to the third of 3 videos that I filmed today in my broken Volvo in a not scenic location. If I got my timing right, this should be the third one that you'll watch and it should be going out in the evening. This is about Scotland land. More than 1 million cars to be banned from Scotland's roads in weeks under hated new laws. This is from the 12th of May in the Sun newspaper, the Scottish Sun, which is like the normal Sun but a lot greyer and quite wet. More than 1 million vehicles will be banned from entering cities in Scotland within weeks due to the low emission zones. Business leaders reacted angrily over the controversial schemes being introduced in Aberdeen, Dundee and Edinburgh, despite scientific evidence that emissions were well within legal limits in each city last year. Notwithstanding that Aberdeen, Dundee and Edinburgh pretty poor places, all things considered. So people that don't have a lot of money being priced out of the cities that they live in. Critics say the zones cause huge inconvenience at massive cost to taxpayers. Just like every government scheme that gets introduced. Huge inconvenience at massive cost to taxpayers. Rishi Sunak's probably got that on a mug, hasn't he? You know, like Michael Scott in The Office where he's got his best boss thing. I reckon Rishi Sunak's got one with his face on it, and then around the outside it just says huge inconvenience at massive cost to taxpayers. And then in all the meetings he's got that on a mug for the goal as to what they're trying to do, and everybody remembers it. It's understood the zone in Glasgow, another well-known, very well-off area of Scotland that was introduced last year, had no positive impact on air pollution, and levels of the most serious pollutant, nitrogen dioxide, were actually increasing. The low emission zone also saw more than £700,000 shelled out by the local authority on hiring vehicles to replace its own non-compliant ones, despite the council telling locals and businesses that they have had years to get ready. If you are paying council tax in these places, do some research. Figures show that 1,078,580 vehicles, about a third of the total registered in Scotland, will be banned from its 4 biggest cities. These cars, generally diesel engine ones from before 2015, and petrol ones from before 2006, attract £60 fines each time they enter the low emission zone. Fines totalling around £3.5 million have been issued in Glasgow since last June. Dundee's zone will be enforced from May the 30th, and Aberdeen and Edinburgh come online on June the 1st. A spokesman for Aberdeen and Grampian Chamber of Commerce said people in Aberdeen are already taking time to adjust to the new bus gates around Union Street. Low traffic neighbourhoods, 15-minute cities, geofencing. All the same thing. It's often got different names though. Bus gates. It would make sense to review the impact of these measures first before further crackdowns on motorists are enforced. Alison Henderson, Chief Executive of Dundee and Angus Chamber of Commerce, said, "We are concerned at the experiences of businesses in Glasgow and would not be in favour of additional costs to a business or their staff and customers, particularly in the current circumstances where hospitality and high street businesses are finding times tough." Right, Alison, you've got confused there. You seem to be thinking that the role of government is to make businesses work and be productive and allow them to provide for the community and for people to grow and improve business districts and communities. That's where you've gone wrong. If I pick up Rishi Sunak's mug, the actual goal is, where was it? To cause huge inconvenience at massive cost to taxpayers. See, it's not about making areas better. It's not about improving business. It's not about improving the economy. It's not about making your life easier. It's not about making your life generally better as a human being. It's just about huge inconvenience at massive cost to taxpayers. A spokesman for Edinburgh Chamber of Commerce said the hospitality industry have been through an extraordinarily difficult time and is still suffering and fragile in its recovery, and the low emission zone must not create additional difficulties. Again, I've got to refer you back there to what we just said, which was huge inconvenience at massive cost to taxpayers. That's the goal. Remember that. Underline it with a red pen. It's on Rishi Sunak's mug in every meeting he's in. Scottish Government Quango Transport Scotland said low emission zones protect public health by improving local air quality. Fucking prove it. Last month, we told how some residents in Glasgow were left fuming after hundreds of motorists started using their street as a car park to dodge the low emission zone. We also revealed how hundreds of taxi drivers are being forced off the road due to new city driving rules. Right, we got any comments on this one that we can read? Because I bet the comments on this one are pretty good. Nope, sadly, they don't have comments enabled on that article. Probably sensible from their point of view, because everybody hates the low emission zones. So let's go over to this article, which is linked there. Hundreds of drivers are using our street as a car park to avoid the council's low emission zone fines. It's out of control. Fuming residents have hit out at drivers using their street as a car park to avoid the LEZ. Homeowners living in Northbridge Estate in Sighthill Circle so they can't even park in their own designated bays because more than 100 city centre workers are selfishly filling them up every day. They say the problem has escalated since the introduction of Glasgow's controversial low emission zone scheme, which begins on the outskirts of the development. Many claim the issue has become so bad that some delivery drivers won't do drop-offs. Roshan Rodriguez, 39, has lived in Northbridge for 18 months and said if he had known parking would be an issue, he would have never bought a house there. There you go. What we want is massive inconvenience at huge cost to the taxpayer, and we don't want you going anywhere. And if you do go anywhere, we want you to pay for it. And if you've got an old car, we want you out of that and into a new one that you can't afford. Business as usual in Scotland. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.